Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Crazy Cabin Fever Cocktails. I'm Tim Niddle of Distilled Living. We're produced by Fascination Design. So for tonight, I was just futzing around trying to figure out some new cocktail to make. Hillary was like, hey, what do you want to drink? And I was like, I don't even know. So we were looking around in the back of the cabinet trying to find something we hadn't worked with before, and she pulled out some Fentiman's Gently Sparkling Elderflower soda, I guess would be the right answer, or sparkling. And I haven't worked with this. I haven't tasted this. I have no idea. But it seemed like a match for some gin. So start out with the idea of a gin highball. But that seemed a little bit kind of boring. So I'm thinking about making it a pink gin highball. So pinking gin is where you add bitters to it, which turns it pink, hence why it's called that. And Hillary suggested we use the Bitter Cube Cherry Bark Vanilla, because as much as this says Cherry Bark Vanilla, and we've talked about this before on the show, fennel is really a dominating element. We think that will bridge together everything really, really well. But I haven't built this cocktail before. So I'm going to construct it, and then I'm going to pink it to flavor profile, and we'll see how that goes. So Collins glass, because I want a nice tall glass for this. Got my ice. I actually feel like this is the kind of cocktail that needs some ice. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to finish off my gin. I'm not even going to measure it. It's pretty close to 1 3/4, 2 ounces. Just like that. Now I'm going to open this up. Let's see. Oh, it's very gently elderflower. It's not overwhelming. Yeah, it's much, much gentler than using an elderflower liqueur, which is the typical go-to to get elderflower into something. Yes.
Do you want to put the bitters in before you put in the soda? And what's your reason on that?
A lot more pronounced elderflower, but really balanced. That's actually pretty good. I have no idea how much bitters to use. So I'm going to bitter it as I go and figure out the right amount. So I've got my 1 3/4, 2 ounces of gin. I'm going to top this really to the top. So we're going... So this is a 275 milliliter bottle. I have no idea what that is in ounces. 9.3 ounces. So I used 4 to 5 ounces or so of that elderflower sparkling, and I'm going to give it a stir, which I know is going to break some bubbles, but I'm okay with that. Because I want it to integrate, and I want to see what my flavor profile is. Well, it's mostly gin at this point. The elderflower, like it was, I didn't have a lot of elderflower on the nose until I got sipping into it. Let's see if it's the same thing. Okay, that's really good, but it's massively floral. It is monotone. So it definitely is going to need some pretty heavy pinking, which is why I was waiting to figure out how much I needed.
Versus if you had the recipe, you might want to go the other route.
Oh, yeah, if you had a recipe, if we'd built a recipe in advance and trialed this, I would definitely do ice, bitters, spirit, top with soda. Definitely do it in that order. Because it's going to take me a little aggressive action to get the bitters to integrate, and I'm going to lose some bubbles when I do that. But this needs a lot of bitters. I'm going to do like 4 good dashes. And you can see color is starting to change a little bit. Now I've got enough dilution that this isn't going a full pink. It's kind of just giving it almost a little orange tint, which is kind of interesting. Alright. You can kind of sort of see a pink color, but it would be much more pronounced if it was just these two. I didn't have any dilution.
It would also be more pronounced if you used
so much better.
Peychaud's or an Ango even,
yeah.
Because this particular bitters is actually fairly light colored.
Yes.
Comparison.
Yeah, an Ango, a Peychaud's, your classics, they're going to way, way more heavily colored. That is really good. It's not bitter enough. So I'm going to give it 2 more dashes. And bear in mind that this is a huge volume of liquid. I'm having to bitter not just the gin, but the sparkling as well. And that's pretty good. It's still very, very floral. This is a very floral summer, springtime kind of drink. Maybe this is not something that I would be sipping on in the dead of winter sitting around a fire, but effervescent, bright, light, good gin notes underneath it. Elderflower's not too pronounced. It really needs the bitter to balance it, though. You want to try it?
Sure.
Okay, hand that off.
Is there any history on pinking gin?
I have no idea if there's history on pinking gin. It's one of those things I've been meaning to research, but I haven't gotten around to. I don't know when it started or what the concept behind it is. It definitely dates to the 1800s, but that's all that I know. What do you think?
I think you could have gone a little bit less on the bitters because the fennel is so strong for me, but that's going to be based on personal preference, I think, for people.
I think maybe it would have been better with an Ango, just not bringing another fruit vegetal to it.
Yeah.
Another botanical to it, but it's not bad. So we do the same thing, swap out your bitters, but otherwise the base recipe is pretty good. So that would be a Fentimans gently sparkling elderflower prairie. So it'd be a pink prairie gin highball made with bitter cube bitters or bitters of choice. Cheers.